That would be good. Added a new button to my stream deck, so hopefully I'm smarter about all this moving from camera to camera. What I really need is a clicker, I think. Now that I think about it, a clicker would make it so that I could basically click a button and it'll automatically switch between the two cameras. Morning, Daniel. The forge is all warmed up. I can feel it. It warms up the Smithy real nice. That's a big difference between this forge and the other one. Let's go ahead and switch to the anvil and talk about what we're going to do this morning. So we've got 4 spikes here. And thank you, Jared. Son just brought me a drink. Put it in my cup holder. And I need to punch 2 sets of holes in this thing for joinery. I'm learning, now that I'm seeing other people's stuff come out, that mine will definitely be different from everybody else's. But the first thing I noticed is I'm going to need a lower. So what's going to end up happening here? Let's talk about that for a second. I want these the spike heads to sit outward like that, opposite directions. They don't have to be too far apart. But then I'm going to end up bending these. I'm going to scroll these and then bend them in such a way as that they'll join. However, a single attachment point is not good enough. Not stable. Big dummy, I don't need 2 sets of holes. All right, back to what I was thinking before. So what I need to do is have attachment points here between the 2 spikes, and that'll make them stable. They won't go anywhere. Then, what I put in here will have a bar going across that I actually scrape my boot on. That's my thought so far. Might not be enough. I don't know yet. Might be that I join with that bar, and then I have to do another join somehow across the top. But my plan is just to have one bar going across with the joinery. However, first thing I noticed when I was thinking about where this needs to happen is there we go. Let's try that again. You okay, Rosie? Come here, baby. Rosie, come here, baby. I need to see you. Rosie, come here. Come here. Good girl. Come here, baby. Let me see. Did it hurt you? No. No. You look okay. You look okay. There. Nothing there. Let's see the front ones. Too successful, but did it? Yes, it did. We're golden. All right, sorry about that, folks. All right. Back to the anvil. Sorry about that. Hopefully it's not Wheel of Death anymore. All right, so why don't I just give some shout outs to folks real quick here. We got Shane, Daniel, Alexis, Rob. I thought I saw Kevin in here a minute ago, but I must have been mistaken. Overmodulating just a touch. Okay. Let's go ahead and fix that. Everything got really loud here too, so there we go. Let me know if there's no longer Wheel of Death. Everything indicates it should be good now. And then I'll continue with my description of what needs to happen. Lurking Kevin, Levin, got it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start talking here now. What I've got going on here, in case it didn't come through before because I forgot that I rebooted and needed to change my network, this is the way that these are going to stand. It would be great if I could get all the holes in just the same place. I'm not absolutely certain that can happen, so if need be, I'll do some heat up and adjusting later. But the idea is to punch a hole right about in this area, and they'll be opposite each other, like that, spread apart like that. I'm not sure how far apart yet, haven't decided. The farther apart, the more stable, right? So that's where that comes in. And then I need to punch holes through here. So I have to do some measuring, and then I have to take off the edge of the anvil, make sure this is flat on the anvil so I can do a punch, and then we'll be good. The problem I noticed is that one's fine right there, off the edge of the anvil there. That one's fine right there. This one is not. Whoop-de-doo. It's time to put that one into the forge, heat it up, resolve that problem. We'll turn the burn rate down just a little bit now that the forge is all warmed up. Let's check the fourth one here. It's nice and stable, and it has a bigger hang-off on the backside. So looks like it got a misstrike when it was being put in at some point because it's really bent funny. Now I just need to remember which is which. Made them up well. Okay, those are about the same. Nope. And that's what I got to make sure I do right. The scroll won't matter. It's not a functional component. It's a pretty component. But what does matter is that I get the. There we go. That'll do. Backs of these. There we go. Get them all lined up so they're in the same place when I punch them. I need to mark where I think the punching needs to happen. So far, the meat of this is right here. I can take it up as far as that. So if I mark on the side of my anvil right there, and similarly over here, mark right there for you guys to see. That way you can catch me if I'm off the anvil. These can go in to be ready to get punched. Now let's go ahead and pull the other one out. We'll need this in a little bit, but let's put it over here for the moment. And what am I needing now? I need tongs. Hey, Eric. Pop this in there. Let's get this sitting flat, shall we? Flip it over. There we go. I can punch that. All right. Now that we have that, put it in the fire. Too many irons in the fire. This is a point where I think I want to wear a glove on the punch hand. We're going to switch hammers here. Use a hammer that, good old Harbor Freight hammer. Engineering hammer, I think they call it. Bring the picture in just a hair. I hope the picture's coming through all right now. Hey, Jeff. Welcome to the mid-morning hangout. Hey, Thomas. You missed the excitement, Thomas. Maybe everybody did, if we're lucky. But my donkey decided that the prop I have, real heavy one too, for holding up my Smithy's Dutch door. I think it's the Dutch door. Was a scratching post. Knocked it down, had to check her out, make sure she wasn't hurt from it. All right, we're getting good temp here. Let's bring it out and see if I can start the punching. Not enough hands. Gonna have to come up with a better system, I think. Let's mark it at least. Punching through a very slight taper, so there's the better method. Right like that. Okay. Got another one and just lay it side by side. really can only have 3 in the fire at a time, it looks like. Ah, come on. On the ground. There's that. Let's go ahead and get this one marked. All right, that one's cold. When I bend down in front of the camera, that's why I wear the hat. I don't accidentally cause a lens flare from my bald spot. They look pretty good. Pretty good. Swap this one in as soon as I pull the other one out. Good. I need a can. We're going to repurpose this can real quick. I need a punch can. Can to cool my punches in. Go ahead and pull over the thing I bought just for that. Find a place for the soda. Perfect. I don't know if I was at Tractor Supply and saw that or what, but I was like, that is perfect for what I need to do. It'll hold the punch there, cool it off there. All right. Yep, donkeys are tough critters. I checked her out. She wasn't hurt. Yep. Having a plan going in. I don't have one often, but having a plan going in definitely makes for more productive time in the shop. Swap around my pieces in my forge. I'm working too many at a time is what's going on. I should probably just pull 2 out. Okay. This is another one. I think I said it at the top, but I don't know if I was actually streaming at the time properly. This is the critical part of it all, and even if it isn't super critical, I can adjust after the fact. All right. I think I'll leave that one just sitting out. We'll leave another one just sitting out. And that'll keep me not working so hard to swap between the pieces I'm working. Let's go ahead and take a look at the two side by side to see how I did. Come on, there you go. Gloved hands are not as dexterous. Let's see if I got them to line up pretty well. That doesn't look bad at all. Let's compare it to another one, because if those compare well, and this one compares well, which I think it does. We'll find out in a second. That one's thinner on this side, so when I drift this, it's going to want to stretch this side more than the other. I'll have to figure out how to deal with that. Oh, that's right, I wanted to do the comparison while it was dark so I could actually see it. Okay, it's looking lower. So now I got to compare that one to the other one. I may have to be very careful about which sides I join to which. Yeah, it looks like it's matching that one, so these two will have to be the ones that get joined. careful which ones what things you hit, Jack. Let's go ahead and put that one back in the fire. I already darn near broke my thumb hitting it the other day, so boot scraper, Eric. Eric, who was the challenger again with the boot scraper? That was you, wasn't it, Eric? Or was it Jeff? Yep, I'm taking 4 railroad spikes, and then I'll have a piece of what is this? Let's pull it over here. Let's switch screens. Let me get my hook ruler. Hook ruler. Here, hook ruler. There it is. It came to me when I whistled, see? Now if I could read the hook ruler. So this is what? 3/8 by an inch. I'll end up tapering it and creating a I know what I'm thinking of. I'll think of the word. Think of because I can't think of the word. I'll set this down into a pin on one side and then on the other side, wide enough so that I can put a boot in there. Which, what does that need to be? That needs to be in excess of 4.5 inches. So we might go ahead to 6 inches. So 7 inches is probably what I need to work. But what I'll do is I'll start with making I can't think of what that's called. It's driving me nuts. Yeah, I'll start with making the part that'll get joined into the thing. I just realized it needs to be square. Haven't done one of those. It needs to be square, which makes my life easier. I don't have to worry about rounding it up. But it does need to be square, which means I need a square punch. And look at that. I got a square punch. So, and why square? It's obvious to anybody who has thought about this at all. I haven't thought about it at all. I just realized it. But you don't want this thing twisting in the place it's going, so it's got to be square. Tenon, thank you. Oh my gosh. Hey, Levin has become Kevin. Welcome, Kevin. Diamonds on the soles of your shoes. I mean, yeah, you wear down the steel a little faster, maybe. But yeah, I'm leaving it. I'm using this size because I want to make it a taper, and I want to have enough meat for the tenon. So, and then what am I joining it with? I need to actually do joinery at the bottom. Do I? Yes, I do. That's what I'm punching holes for. And that probably could be made of the same material, now that I think about it. And it also would use a square tenon to stay. I mean, it doesn't absolutely have to be a square tenon. It would be better if it were. So I got a lot of holes to punch. Let's go ahead and put that in there and grab the material and continue the hole punching. I need a drift too. Where's my little drift? There's my little drift. Do 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 do. Interesting. So that won't be square tenon explicitly because of the way I'm having to punch it and drift it. It'll be round, but then when I join the bar, the scraper itself on it, that'll be square. And being that that'll be square, once I've put it all together, it should result in not being able to twist. So, see? Planning. I don't really need to make sure that the thing is still on like that, but oh, let's bring you over here where the action is. All right, let's go ahead and put that back in the fire. I've got another one that's already hot. Let's get this one in there. Pull the other one out. Stay there. Getting a good bulge. Let's flip it over just to see what it's looking like at this point. I'm glad I got the glove on. It is toasty. We're getting close. I can start to see the mark where it is, but let's put it back in the fire. Tim O'Connor, okay. Yeah. You're absolutely right. The brushes definitely get in places you can't get. Hi, Rob. But nobody said that I was supposed to go and create a brush for this thing. Maybe that'll be phase 2. I can attach some brushes on the side. I think I have some actually. Let's take a look at the bottom of that. It feels like I'm getting pretty close. Yep. I'm going to give it a couple more whacks from the other side and then flip it over. There we go. Flip it over. See if I can find that spot. Nope, on the ground. Come on, get back up here. It's definitely torn free in there. Let's see if I can get it to come the rest of the way out. Pretty darn close. I don't know if I can get it to shear right now and push through or not. Let's go ahead and get it hot again. It wants to come out. All right. Do as I said over here. That's ready, and yeah, that's going to be fun to drift. I think it's going to be a mess. Might have to make a whole new one. Yeah, it's out. We have one hole punched. 3 more to go. Leave that over there for now. We'll swap in one that hasn't been punched through yet. Let's see what my fuel flow is. It's not as hot as I'm used to seeing, but I'm really disappointed in myself. I didn't follow good safety procedure last week. Came out to find that my tanks were still open. Don't know how much fuel I lost in that. Hopefully the ball valves on the VVOR didn't let too much through. Almost done, huh, Robert? I'm doing well, Robert. Had a good first week back at work. When I say back at work, what I mean is not unemployed. I'm liking the new job a lot. Your keyboard's uneducated? Yeah, I get you there, Kevin. Uh-oh. That was a very large blob of text. It was an ad. feel free to ignore. Yeah, right? I have spam blockers and it still didn't block it. All right, let's get this, let's get another hole punched. Exciting work today. Punching holes rather than drilling them. I'm hoping I can save a slug here so that my chiropractor, Dr. Stephanie, might get to see why we bother with punching rather than drilling. Other than the fact that, of course, punching allows me to create square holes. How can I do this and still, here we go, that's how. Over here. It is not stable at all. It will end up on the ground. Man, it just does not want to shear. It's shear, it's in there, it just doesn't want to come out. And I don't have a pair of needle nose pliers to pull it out. All right, we're going to work it from that side next time. All right, straighten that back out. Well, my aim is off today. It hit the ground. It got low, 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 low. Let's put it back in the fire. This one's also going off to the side. Sadly, that is not an uncommon problem, especially with the new Smith. Which I am, relatively new Smith. I'm basically, how's that phrase go? I'm pitching above my league. Oh yeah, I'm dumb. I thought about punching it out from the backside, which wouldn't have worked all that great over the Pritchell, but there's no reason I need to do it that way. I can do it from the other. Yep. Everybody take a drink. Oh, let's fix that. Thank you. First off, we'll bring it over here because this appears to be where I'm actually going to do the work. Let's go to controls. Let's turn this off for a minute. Oh my God. So that's the problem with studio mode. I can't tell what my focus is. It's great for swapping cameras, but there we go. Thanks for saying something. Kevin, your glasses are dirty. Hey, Jurgen. Hey, other Jurgen. All right. Let's do that. We'll go right here. Nope. You're not allowed to be on the ground. I don't need another drink yet. Right there. Grab this and punch it through from this side. It doesn't have enough, because of the nail head, I can't really punch it through the other side. Come on. Thank you. Hey, it's through. Woohoo! Thanks, Eric. I had thought about the Pritchett hole. I just was thinking about it like this because I wanted to see it from the other side. And on the ground. That explains it. I accidentally put it in crooked. I missed my mark by a little bit. That's okay. When I drift it, it'll all come out in the wash. I think. So that one's through. We can set it aside and put the other one in. For the new smith out there that, is always like, I need really nice tools. No, you don't. This is probably the ugliest pair of offset bolt jaw tongs you've ever seen. You don't need pretty tools, you need tools. And you can make them yourself. It's one of the best things about being a blacksmith. You can make your own tools, you make everybody else's tools. All right. Let's focus back over here. There we go. And I shouldn't have done that. Don't do that. And what that is striking for the hills. In other words, repeating over and over and over your strikes, because you probably ruin a punch that way. Whew. That's the way to preheat an anvil. That's warm. Just do some freaking work on it. And you can see there's a nice shiny spot right in here. We're going to go ahead and heat it back up again. Hit it a couple of times. Make sure we see where that shiny spot is. I can actually see the little indentation there if you turn it in just the right way as to where I need to hit next to pop it through. And as I've just proven, it doesn't have to be exact. But if you don't get it exact, you're going to probably end up with a crooked hole. All right. So what's better, just actual blacksmithing pros, or people who have been doing this for a long time, having an oxygen-rich environment inside the forge, so you don't have so much dragon's breath coming out, and when I say best, I mean for the purposes of actual having heat. I'm not worried about scale at the moment. If I were forge welding, I know the answer to that. Because you don't want as much oxygen inside. You want it to try and use up all the oxygen before it touches the metal. But right now I'm going for heat. To be most efficient with my fuel. I think Roy's covered this topic before. I just can't remember the answer. So that's the way you're supposed to do it. No more than 3 strikes. So it doesn't get to pull too much heat into your punch. Feels like I'm getting a hotter forge right now by having more oxygen in there. Let's go ahead and hit it a couple of times just to reestablish where it is. Flip it over. Come on. There we go. Give it a quick brush off. I don't know, maybe it's not ready. I don't see the mark at this point, but it felt like it bottomed out. We're gonna just have to I'm putting it back in the fire. That took too long. That feels like I'm at bottom. Yep, that went through. Let's see if we can pop out the slug. Pritchell hole, not hardy hole. I didn't actually forge this punch to specifically Pritchell hole size, so let's see what we get. Pretty close. Yep, sheared clear. No, it won't focus there. Ah, but I think I see the slug. Yep, there it is. I see a couple of them now. Nope. Oof. Keep it bouncing in the hand. There's two. They are still hot, but there are two. And you can see there's so little material in case my non-smithing friends, family come along here. I just took out that much material, but I didn't. I actually pushed that material to its sides until we get to the point where it can't really do that anymore, at which point you end up with this tiny little slug, like, I don't know, a quarter, an eighth of how much would come out if I tried to drill it, which of course you can't drill that shape anyway. So yeah, that's why Smiths punch instead of drill. Now, Smiths do drill as well, but now you know why punching is a thing. Really useful thing. All right. Flip it over. Ah, very visible now. Aim for the middle of that spot. And went right through. There's the slug. That's a perfect punch right there. I might be able to do better in the future. Not much better. Let's go ahead and just put that one right back in the fire, and we'll start drifting. There's the slug. Really doesn't get much better than that one. Ah! Brushing off all the... It really is a tiny piece of metal. Did I get it? There it is. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. Let's go ahead and turn off studio mode so I can see what my focus is. That's it. That's all the metal that is removed. It's not even as thick as it is wide. So, very cool process. Something I always was wowed by, obviously by the fact that I'm going on about it. Stop gushing about silly things, Jack. Yeah, Roy has covered every topic. That might be true. All right, scrolling back. Much uglier tongs, Kevin? See? So any new smith out there that thinks, oh, I need to have such, pristine tools, nope, get going. Stop making excuses for yourself. Go watch one of those wilderness survival channels out there where they literally dig up the iron ore or convert it from something they pulled out of a bog. They use a freaking rock, 2 rocks. All right. That one's hot enough to drift. I'll put away that one can go down there. Now we need the round drift. And this one, we will go over here. So that's where the drifting is going to happen. Have a good call, Daniel. And the train's coming by. All right. Let's see if we can actually get this drift in there, or if I actually need to punch a little bit more to widen it. Punch a little bit more to widen it. No problem. The punch does have a taper for that reason. I didn't tell anybody, but this punch annoys me. I don't know if it's annoying anybody else, but it annoys me. All right, that should work. Get it back in the fire. And then I'll show everybody why it annoys me. Almost to the point where I want to heat it back up, fix it, and then go through a heat treat again. Because it ain't perfect, that's why. All right, this one, it can drift right as it is. Come on. Let's take her around. Oop, it hit the ground. Drop forged. For anybody who doesn't know, all drop forging means is the forging process involved a press. I think everybody in the room here knows that, but maybe somebody who comes along and watches this at a later time, family or friends, didn't know. It is forging. They are getting metal up to a temperature to forge with. They are shaping the metal, but big ass dies. But the process involves smashing dies together over metal and then trimming off flashing. Not a whole lot of manpower involved there. Good morning, Roy. All right. Let's drift. My drift really doesn't need to stay hard. But it also doesn't need to get stuck in the metal, so there we go. And we go from rectangular to round, slowly but surely. Let's get it back in the fire. We summoned Roy. I didn't even use the F word. No F-bombs were dropped. I just said, I bet Roy has something to say on the matter of air to fuel ratio in a gas forge. All right. I'm not sure how I fixed that. I think the answer to fixing that is screw it, or keep a drift in there while then hammering against the hole and the drift while on the edge of the anvil, and that way pushing everything a little bit. But I'd really have to have some heat, I think, to prevent cracking. Doesn't need to be straight at this point, but I'll have a better idea of what's happening if I straighten it a little. I think I'm going to put it in the forge like that. See if I can get it hotter on this side than the other side. Move it over. If the forge will let me. I've got an idea. Whew, that's hot. There we go. We'll melt that plastic magnet right there. It'll just hold it upright like that. Let's turn it like that. Do the same thing with this one. Welder's magnets are great as long as you don't actually put them near fire. All right. More heat on the thick side. That's exactly what I was going to do. Yep, drop forge and a crescent wrench. The ones I always see are just the regular wrench sets. Pillsbury crescent wrench. I don't, Eric. You're right. I don't heat treat the punch. I just don't know if it's a good idea to keep it hot. It's not a, I don't know what the material is really what it boils down to. Minimal as possible. This forge doesn't seem to be heating as much as I'd expect. That is one hot bugger. I think I've been losing some of the heat. Up the other. Let's go ahead and fix that. Up the other burner. All right. Let's see if this actually worked the way I hope it will. As soon as I figure out where I set the darn wrench. Oh, there it is. Tongs down. Nope. That's just wrong. Don't do like that, Jack. Really doesn't need to be any bigger than that. All right. It didn't crack. It's round. I'm going to put it back in and just drift it from the other side just to make the hole consistently, or kind of consistent. come on. There we go. Fine, you that way. All right, out comes this one. I don't think there's any, the heck did I do? Well, that will go back in the fire because I've lost my drift. Oh, it's on the ground, dummy. And now so is the workpiece. All right. Forgot to pick it up after I knocked it out. And that's why I cool off the punch. It's not for the punch's benefit, it's for the dummy who has to hold it. And this water's warm enough to need to get swapped. There we go. Let's try that again. How the hell am I drifting it from this side, right? I know. Just like that. Yes, just like that. And all I was doing is getting that to be a little bit more round. There we go. That looks awesome. We'll set that aside. That's why you break a finger, Jack. Big dummy. Real quick test needed. I never marked this to determine how big the hole needed to be. Dumb stuff like that. Having a drift of the right size, so you know exactly what size hole you need, is a professional way to do it. This is me proving I'm not a professional. Okay, the good news is that the drift is showing where I took the rust off. That's how deep I need to go into the other parts. Then I have to make sure my tenon is the same size. So I might have to start with a larger material to begin with. All right. Time to put another piece in there. All right. Now, Alexis, you saw when I went completely wrong and nearly broke a finger? Heat up the punch, fix it, and let it cool and keep going. Oh, I'm talking not the the punch. You think that it would be okay to do that, huh? Let me show you what I'm talking about. It's really frustrating to me, but it worked just fine. But when I got done, I noticed that it wasn't as straight as I thought it was going to be. You can see it there. I don't know if that's because I got the taper wrong or what, but yeah. And so when it's all said and done, I'm just annoyed by it. It's not like it needs to be fixed. But yeah, I'm tempted to go ahead and just heat it back up, straighten it, quench the thin side. Got it. I can do that. Fortunately, I made the punch a good size to not result in thin walls. So it's just thinner. Yeah, that coal train likes to go by. Never stops and leaves me anything. All right. Let's try not to take my finger off. Come on. Fine, be that way. There we go. It did help. I don't know if it helped enough to really worry about it, but it did help. Let's put it back in the fire. Drift it from the back side, and then that one's done. Come on. Everybody talks about hammer control, but I'm telling you, tong control sometimes is the hardest part. Yeah, I've often thought that too, Eric. I've said that to other people, and they're like, well, no, we still heat treat it. But the whole time you're punching, you're basically taking the treatment out of it. As I'm done with the punch anyway, I'll just go ahead and get ready to do that. Let's start drifting this one. Yep, we're good. Whew, that's warm. And that is why I keep quenching it, so I don't burn myself. Yeah, we'll have to quench that side next time. There we go. Now it's central. Now I feel like it will strike true every time. All right, we'll go ahead and let that set over here. Air cool. this out. Do the back side, like I said. There we go. And that one's done. As clean as Roy keeps all of his forgings, I have to wonder if he looks at what I do and just cringes. All right. All right. That's how my mentor was about it too. He was overjoyed just to see me doing it. My mentor is a gentleman in South Florida we refer to as Cullen. It was his game name in a group we belonged to called Adrian Empire. And he's how I got started. Interesting things. If you haven't noticed it, I've already updated the channel to say it, I hope. Let me scroll back and make sure. Scrolling. Come on, where you at, channel? Supposed to be telling people this stuff. Oh no! There it is. Nope, that just says I'm live streaming. Did I neglect to actually hit save or something? Well, anyway, it's supposed to be telling you the new hours for the channel. And I don't know why it looks like it's not doing that. But the new hours for the live stream are 9:30 my time. That'd be 12:30 Eastern. And I think I did the math. I'm trying to think here. I think that is 2:30 UTC. Jurgen, you're on here still, right? You can tell me if I got that wrong. I don't know why it's not updating the channel. And this is in deference to the Impractical Blacksmiths. They're moving their time an hour to be able to allow Adam to participate more easily, since he's he's had a change in his work hours. And so that actually works out great for me because it gives me just that little bit longer to work out technical detail, technical glitches. Like today I had to reboot, so I went online, I don't know, a minute late or something. And then after the reboot, you guys saw there was a problem with the network I had joined, because after the reboot it rejoined the Wi-Fi instead of my phone. So having that extra half an hour will help me get set up without as many glitches, I hope. So yeah, exactly, Rob. Half an hour later. So if you know the UTC time, Rob, let us all know. All right. Let's see if we can get that one side to move more than the other. Everything's on the floor. I swear it's not helping the thin side at all. Oh well. I don't think I'll quench it this next time. I'll just go ahead and work it. I think this is my perfect punch. We're pretty darn close to perfect punch. Proof that I made this drift way too short. That got too hot too fast. Oh, no, this isn't the perfect drift. This is the diagonal drift. I could tell because they're still flashing right there, and I could see where it's offset there. This is the one that gave me all that trouble. Oh well. It's the one that looks like it's actually going to end up being most central, though. Funny. All right. A little bit more. There it is. We'll round it out from the other side and it'll be done. .6:30 there, Central European time. Okay. .30 UTC. Okay, I got it right. I got to make sure I actually said that in my script, but I'm glad to see I got it right. Now I just got to figure out why the script isn't running anymore. Getting close. There we go. That looks right. Every time I bend over, I'm worried I'm going to touch my ear to that hot spike head. Oh, wrong way. Let's try that again. This way. All right. Just about. There we go. All right. That one's way off kilter, but not such that it'll hurt me. Again, no fractures. This should all rivet up just fine. Now I just got to figure out what I'm going to make a rivet with that. For that, I should say. That's pretty close already. Good, good. All right. That's 4 of those things. Let me see what material I have that can be turned into rivets. That looks rivetable, like rivetable material. Yep, that's what I'd be shooting for, size-wise. So what size was that? Because now we have to do it with a different bar and make it this size. All right, let's bring you over here. This is the size that that drift was for. All right. Square one's still going to be needed. We'll get to that in a little bit. That's going to be a different project, different part of the project. What do I have left? What is today's date? We still have one more weekend for March, right? Yeah, daylight savings need to stop. Here in the Pacific Northwest, I'd like it to stay this, based on the way the light works. I don't think the world wants what I want, though. Michael, that's a pretty awesome thing to be able to do. Right now is a great way to work. Oh, so it's 6:30 UTC? No, that's CET. Got it. 18:30. So I was right about 7:30. Got it. Let me do that math real quick. So that'd be 19:30 your time. Plus 7 is 20. That's 5. So that's. See, I don't understand the math. I really have to work on the math. Good. So I still have enough time to get this project done. Yeah, I don't understand why the daylight savings change happens the way when it does either. All right, what is this measurement? Just for reference sake, it is 1/2 inch. So now, maybe I'll remember that, maybe not. Half inch, that's it's 2.54 centimeters, so that'd be 12 centimeters, roughly. No, I can't. Millimeters, that's what I was thinking. Centimeters, millimeters, let me see. It's 2.54 centimeters. So 25.4, yeah, I was right, 12. 12 and a half is, I think, what you guys always do, is 12 and a half when you want to approximate the 1/2 inch. All right, so what I need to do, what do I need to start with to be able to do that most easily? So I might not use the material I was saying. Let's see what material I have. Yeah, 1/2 by 3/4. I could turn that into what I need. 1/2 by 3/4. Bring it down to 1/2 by 1/2. Round it. And that would give me a tenon. Then I'd have to probably flatten this out a bit to get the dimensions I want to put the cross member on. I think that'll work. Or I just put a square hole as is through this and don't worry about flattening it out wherever I need it. Which means I kind of have to start scrolling to figure it all out. If I don't have scrolls, I don't have a mechanism for determining how much distance is between the scrolls when I'm done. So, we know the material to work with. I'm going to put it up here on the top so I remember. We know this material to work with. I'll sit next to it. And surprisingly, the next thing I have to do is actually start scrolling. Huh. Why is that being a challenge in my mind right now? It's being a challenge because I've got an idea of what I want to do with the scroll, but I haven't discussed yet. It's a type of scroll I've never done, which means I probably shouldn't do it. But I want to do it. The worst that'll happen is it won't come out looking like I want, and whoop-de-doo, then I end up with a completely different kind of scroll. All right. So let's start doing it instead of thinking about it. What do I have time-wise? I have 15 minutes. Thank you, Robert. 15 metric minutes. Oh my God, look at all that conversion talk going on. I would prefer here in the Pacific Northwest that it be later, because I already at this time of year end up having light in the sky all the way until 10 p.m. Technically sunset is 9, but the way it all works out is we still have light in the sky until about 9:45, 10, and at which point then they finally start doing fireworks at 10 on July 4th. I'm sorry. And then summer starts on July 5th, because, you know, that's just the way of things here in the Pacific Northwest. But yeah, so that's why I would prefer it to be kept to the later time. All right, so here we go. We'll put 2 of these in here, and we will see if there's any chance I can actually make a particular scroll. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up on the screen so I can reference it. I don't need the glove anymore. Let's see if I can actually put this up on screen for people to see. First things first. That. There we go. I don't care, Microsoft. You don't need to tell me every time you update the browser. All right, we are going to see about it's not what they call it, apparently. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. Right there. Go over here, find the screen that actually has it. Go to sources. This is the scroll I'm trying to go for. Sorry about the beveled leaf scroll. I don't know if I have the skill for this, but I want to try it anyway. Let's take the punch out of here for the moment so it doesn't end up getting in the way. That's right, we don't have any skills until we try. All right. Switch to this hammer. Let's go ahead and go back into studio mode. Let's go ahead and pick anvil and switch to it. And it's on the ground. Time to break out leather tongs. All right. It's a Mark Asprey scroll, so I figure I should give it a try. That man's never steered us wrong, so. Oh, there's the 5-minute warning. Now, he then goes and gives it a couple of whacks over the edge to establish the shoulder. Right about there. Are you guys able to see what I'm doing? Let me just make sure my camera's in the right place. Does that still show up correctly? It does. Thanks, Rob. I'm hoping that I can make it look anywhere near close to what Mark is putting on there. Your skill is procrastinating. Pretty good at it. Yeah, I get you, Shane. I am not going to have it done today, Eric. The plan is to have it done by next live stream. In other words, have it done during the next live stream. And if it's not done during the next live stream, that live stream may go longer than normal. All right. But I want to make sure you're actually seeing my anvil. You are. I want to make sure that it's in focus. It is. It's very shiny when it's when the sun's out. In case folks weren't here because everything went crazy, right? When I tried to show this before. This is the one I'm trying to make right now. I see now that I need to make a slight taper at the end. I'll work on that. Then we do a set down. So let's try that. Glad I didn't start the set down yet. It's not a big taper, it's not a big leaf. And this material is thin, so it cools off pretty quick. There we go. That leaf may be a little odd. Let me heat it back up again. We'll figure it out. This one's no better. All right, it's got a taper. It's a very weird looking leaf at the moment, but nobody said my leaves always looked great. Let's go ahead and get it ready for the set down. All right. Make sure I'm right that the set down is the next part. It is. We'll come over here, that far. We have something somewhat leaf-shaped right there. He uses a much bigger bar, just so you know. Do the same with the other one. Okay. All right, now I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to pull up the page for everybody to see what I have, why I'm not doing anything yet. As a matter of fact, I'm probably not going to do anything more today because I have to decide something now. Let me swap screens. Let's see if it did it. It did. I love when the technology actually works. All right, so I've gotten this far. I've got the tapered and rounded, and then over the side and set down. I rolled it a little bit just so that I wouldn't have anything looking too sharp in there. I might change, that things. You'll see why it doesn't really matter at the moment. I was paying attention. So this will end up bending over the horn, but it says the scroll is one-sided, and you can see it here. There's a very nice delineation as far as, that leaf pattern goes. So I have to now decide which side of this thing is going to end up getting the taper that ends up being where we go with this from there. I won't have to worry about that because of the weirdness I already introduced in it. The bottom left picture, that's already there. So I'll work around that. But yeah, the next step for me is to figure out how this ends up going around into a taper so that the leaf ends up on the outside. And so now I have to figure out which way this scrolls and I think it's going to be opposite on each of them. So that's what I've got to figure out. I think the easy solution is just make two of them on one side, two of them on the other side, and then it won't matter. So I'm going to study this document really closely, and then that's what I'll be doing either sometime during the week or next weekend. I got a lot of different things I have to get done to make this thing delivered. So yeah, that is that. So it is going to be the same bat channel, but the next bat time is a half hour later starting next week. And we'll just keep it up like that until there's a reason not to do so anymore. And so yep, that is the shoe, the whole shoe. A mighty fine shoe. And sorry for the multiple restarts. Apparently OBS decided to just go twice while was it 3 times while I was trying to get the page up so everybody could see what I'm going to try to pull off here. Yeah, the water leaf for the master grill. I know, Robert. This whole project to me feels very master grilly. And maybe that's just me. And so my goal is to just, accomplish some of those things. Poorly this first time, probably, but it'll be something I have now accomplished. The goal is to take that, let's switch it back here real quick, to take this scroll here. It'd probably be more short like this one, but to take this scroll here and end up in a foot, so it'll scroll back into a foot and have opposing ones that then get banded together. So that's the goal. And then at the foot, I don't know if you can even see my pointer. I'm pointing currently at the top right picture, and and where this scrolls out, it'll smooth transition out into the foot of the which is the head of the spike. And then I'll rivet it together via the holes I just punched, band it together, and that will be done twice. It's not called band. What is it called? It is called a collar. Sorry. Collar it twice. And then from the tenoned bar that I have to attach the two of them together twice, I'll put another bar that's tenoned with a square tenon to be the actual scraper. So that's the big plan, Whether I pull it off or not, we'll see. I know I can. I'm pretty sure I can do it. It's whether or not I can do it in the time allotted. And the fact is, if I don't care. I'm not trying to win any prizes. I love the fact that I think it was Tom suggested it, because, like I said, for me, it automatically resulted in an envisioning of the master grill. So. Or maybe not the master grill, but, you know, the start of all that. I got just over a week. Yeah, the problem, Eric, is I really only get out into the shop these couple hours every Sunday. So for me, this is just a fun bit of content and a reason to be out here. And so if it takes me 2 months to get a project done, it doesn't bother me, because I'm out here enjoying my time. Working a craft that I've been enamored with since I was a kid. So anyway, ladies and gents, I'll bid you the same challenge I do every week. Love and light.